All right, we are here with Alane Boyd this morning, and we're going to go over some issues, go over the AWWA annual conference. But before we get to that, let's just do a few housekeeping items. Lead and copper samples are still going on through the end of September. So if you are on that schedule now, please check and see that you're current on those. Double check with WaterLink. Also, DBP's disinfection byproduct sampling is now season for that. Some upcoming training events. There's the Rural Water Annual Fall Conference in Layton, Utah through August 27th through the 30th. There are 2 rural water trainings on September 12th. One in Camas that will go over best disinfection practices. That's a half-day training. And another rural water training in Saratoga Springs that goes over sanitary survey processes and the procedures with that and some of the changes there. October 10th through the 12th is the annual AWWA conference in Midway, Utah, which we will hear a lot more about today. And then October 25th through the 26th, there is a Rural Water Conservation Certificate, not certificate in Salt Lake City, Utah, to go over. That's a certification offered through Rural Water on water conservation. No major news from the division, no new hires, no new staff changes, nothing big to go over other than we do have some IPS rule revision. You might have noticed that there were 2 rural water or 2 webinars this month. The previous one by Rachel Cassidy and Jennifer Yee that broadly went over how the division has revised the improvement priority system rule and how that rule change is going to go forth in some of that process. Alane will talk briefly about some of the work that AWWA is facilitating, some consultations with division staff at their fall conference to go over that. But if you have not had a chance to watch that one, I highly recommend it. That is a rule that covers every system in the state. So please try and make some time to go over that. And with that, we will turn it over to Alane. Alane.
Good morning. Thanks, Colt, for having us come and talk about our annual conference. It will be happening on October 10th through 12th up at Zermatt Resort in Midway, Utah. And there's a link shown on the slide as to where you can register for the conference. And I did want to mention that our early bird deadline is on August 31st. And so before August 31st, there's a $100 reduced rate going on. And so don't dally around, go ahead and get registered. But we do have a couple of special things going on during the annual conference. The first day of the conference is our operator day, and there is special pricing of $150 for that day for operators, and that includes all meals, our prize drawings, and of course the breakout sessions and general sessions. And anyone who signs up for that operator day will receive 0.6 CEUs. And then the full conference also, if you're interested in receiving CEUs, you'll be able to receive 1.0 CEUs for attending all 3 days of the conference, and that's a Wednesday through Friday. And if you're interested in professional development hours, you can receive up to 12 professional development hours for attending the full conference. Oops, sorry. We have some great keynote speakers on hand for the conference. The first will be our opening general session keynote speaker, and that is Rob Renner. And Rob is the Chief Executive Officer for the Water Research Foundation, and he joined the staff in August of 2005. Prior to that, he was the Executive Director of the International Society of Automation and served as Deputy Executive Director of the American Water Works Association. He has more than 20 years of experience as a consultant optimizing water treatment plant performance. And Rob will discuss one of the most exciting and popular Water Research Foundation projects of 2017, fostering innovation within water utilities. And his presentation will touch on how and why water utilities need to transform into idea factories and enabled by a sustainable culture of innovation, broad engagement of stakeholders, and effective leveraging of external resources. And the project produced a guidance manual and accompanying video on innovation based on successful programs in the utility and commercial sectors. And the manual presents a simple framework geared specifically towards utilities to foster a culture that encourages creativity and facilitates implementation of new ideas. And on Thursday, our keynote speaker is Brenda Lennox, and Brenda is the immediate past president of AWWA, and I know her personally, and she's a wonderful person. She recently retired from the Tutalane Valley Water District, where she worked for over 26 years, and most recently as a manager of customer and support services. There she was tasked with the oversight of customer service, billing, and the risk management program for the second largest water utility in Oregon. Brenda served on the AWWA board of directors from 2013 to 2016, and she was vice president from 2014 to 2016. And she'll use her experience in customer service to discuss how utilities in today's world need to embrace diversity. A successful organization, she says, requires every type of profession, not just engineers or technical staff. And these people will help the organization meet today's customer expectations. And on Friday, we have a real treat. Our closing luncheon keynote is a Kwasi Frimpong. And he's a Dutch Guyanan sprinter, bobsledder, and skeleton athlete. And he made history by being the first Guyanian athlete to represent his country in the 2018 Winter Olympics in skeleton. He was born and raised in Ghana, and Kwasi moved to the Netherlands when he was 8, and he started running not early in life, but when he was 15. But when he did start running, he never looked back, and he was determined to represent his country at the most prestigious sport event. And he worked hard, and it was his untiring passion and continuous efforts that earned him the nickname Golden Sprint. And today, Kwasi is a proud winner of 4 bronze, 3 silver, and 8 gold medals at various local and international sport events. His participation in the 2018 Winter Olympics was a momentous occasion for the athlete. One of the most interviewed athletes of the Games, you may have seen him. He went internationally viral with his celebration dance. Currently, Kwasi is getting ready for Beijing in 2022, and he's determined to win Ghana's and Africa's first Winter Olympic gold medal. So Kwasi is excited to speak about his journey and the importance of water. And water is such an important thing, he told me, especially for his family in Ghana. His grandmother, I guess, feels a real connection with water. Kwasi's personal story is of courage and triumph in the face of adversity, and it's an extraordinary story that will inspire and motivate you. We have lots of great breakout topics on hand coming up at the conference. Everything from capital improvements and energy conservation, management topics, water auditing and water data, stakeholder and employee education, treatment, water quality items, and the like. So there's something for everyone. I'll just tell you a little bit about some Wednesday breakouts on operation and maintenance. David Haynes with UGSI PAX Water will discuss active mixing in drinking water storage tanks. It's become a proven tool for improving water quality and potable water distribution systems. And active mixing can help you reduce residual loss, water age, prevent tank icing, and when combined with active ventilation or aeration, remove DBPs from finished water. Active mixing provides continual circulation, distributing residual to all corners of a storage tank so that the entire volume is homogeneous in both temperature and chemistry. This presentation will point to real-world case studies and data that underscores powerful tank mixing is an important and necessary step to water quality improvement and distribution asset protection. And then another presentation on operation and maintenance will be given by Mike Carruthers with Sewer and Leak Locators of Montana. He'll talk about the technology advancements in the field of leak detection. His presentation will include an overview of various types of acoustic microphones, correlators, loggers, cell phone apps, infrared cameras, and a combination of tools. And he'll talk about specific scenarios and applications that are best suited for each tool. You won't want to miss this one. On Wednesday, we also have breakout sessions on energy conservation. Rob Sobey with Hanson Allen Luce will discuss energy performance metrics for water systems. The presentation introduces important metrics for managing your water system's energy use. These key performance indicators address energy efficiency at equipment, facility, and system levels with consideration for water loss, demand charges, cost of electricity, non-hydraulic loads, and changes over time. Rob says that you're probably already collecting the data you need for these metrics. Now he's going to show you how to apply them and improve your system. You'll also want to join Matt Jensen with Cascade Energy as he presents North Salt Lake's success implementing no or low-cost energy efficiency improvements, as well as energy efficiency capital improvements, and how their program and portions of their capital improvements were paid for by Rocky Mountain's Industrial Watt Smart program. This is a great way to bring improvement to your system at very low cost or no cost. On Thursday, we have some water quality topics that might interest you. David Austin with Jacobs and Joe Crawford with Central Utah Water Conservancy District will touch on issues of cyanobacteria. David will talk about ways to present cyanobacteria, ways to reduce cyanobacteria blooms, and Joe will show you how this is not a new problem in Utah. Joe will talk about Deer Creek Reservoir and the improvements that were made to reduce blue-green algae and cyanobacteria in the 70s and 80s to create a pristine drinking water source. Michael Harvigson with Epic Engineering will discuss the technologies, policies, and AWWA's new standards for water reuse. If you are considering water reuse in your area, this is a must-see presentation. There are many other topics related to water system management too. We have an expert in board and management development, Gary Winger with Kirk and McConkie Attorneys at Law, who will talk about new and best practices for boards. This presentation is for you if you are a board member of a utility or work with board members. Nathan Swain with AWWA will talk about accessible water modeling. We all know that a water distribution system model is a very important tool for our utilities. It also represents a significant investment of time and money, as you probably know, to develop, and typically it is made available to only a select few in your organization. However, web technologies are making it possible to allow everyone in the organization to safely access the data without jeopardizing the integrity of the model. In this presentation, Nathan will explore the utility of web modeling for everyone in your organization, from the engineers and operators to the secretaries and administrators. We also have a great exhibit hall where you can talk directly with suppliers and manufacturers and consultants. Various organizations will be there, including Lewis Young Robertson in Birmingham, Zions Bank, Olympus Insurance, Northwest Pipe, EJ, DN Tanks, Nickerson, Intuitech, Cascade Earth Sciences, McWane Ductal, Leak Locators of Montana, Global Sampson Associates, Rocky Mountain Valve, AE2S, VSL, and the list goes on. You won't want to miss our exhibit hall. Also, we will have the Utah Division of Water Resources there to meet with you to talk about water use data, and the Utah Division of Drinking Water, and I'll talk about what they'll have to offer in a couple of slides. One of our great activities that we have held for the last 3 years is our golf for scholarships. This activity will occur on Thursday, October 11th, starting at 1:30, and it's a golf activity where we try to raise money for our scholarships. Our goal is to raise $5,000, and we'll be golfing at the Crater Springs Golf Course at the Homestead Resort, which is a very beautiful golf course. And if you're not a golfer, you can help us by sponsoring a hole or sponsor the prizes, and 100% of the proceeds go towards funding the section scholarships. And again, we're trying to raise $5,000 to fund these 3 scholarships. And I mentioned that Division of Drinking Water staff will be available during the conference for consultations. They'll not only have a booth in the exhibit hall, but they'll have a personal consultation room where they can meet with you individually. A couple of the items that they're going to be there to discuss is the new House Bill 303 and the impacts of that to your utility. That's the bill that requires drinking water systems to report 3 years of non-revenue water, and they'll be there to help you get through that morass of a bill. They'll also be there to discuss new rule changes regarding point systems or the IPS rule revision. Colt talked about this earlier, and there was a webinar on that, but the staff will be on site to discuss that with you as well as any other topics that you might have questions about. Activities, we have quite a few other activities going on. Wednesday, we have an exhibitor luncheon. And Thursday, we have an exhibitor breakfast. We have a membership breakfast on Friday and awards and closing luncheon on Friday as well. There'll be prize drawings throughout with some great prizes. We also, besides the Golf for Scholarship activity on Thursday afternoon, we'll be providing a hike at Wasatch Mountain State Park, as well as a facility tour of Jordanelle Hydro Facility and the JSSD treatment plant up in near the Jordanelle. So lots of great activities for everyone. So that is a synopsis of our 2018 annual conference, A Watershed Moment, The Changing Landscape of Water, October 10th to 12th at Zermatt Resort in Midway, Utah. There's the link to register. And then I also did want to mention, Colt mentioned a few other trainings that are going on. The Intermountain section also has a free small systems operator training on October 23rd at Ashley Valley facilities in Vernal, Utah. And then we're also currently taking nominations for Leadership Forum. That's a year-long program for people that are upcoming leaders in your organization. And so look on our website for those as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Alane. All right. Thank you all for joining us. That was great. We hope to see a lot of you there. I think I'm slated to be in the consultation room at least part of the time there, consulting on things. We have a lot to discuss this year with IPS rule revision, and HB 303 is obviously big. There's also a webinar on HB 303 where Assistant Director Ying Macaulay explains the bill in a way that almost made sense to me, which was helpful as a non-engineer to get that. So if you're looking for that, you should try and find that in our previously watched videos and come prepared with really insightful, intelligent questions for us to answer and see how we're going to be able to implement that. If you're looking for CEUs, there will be a link posted later today. If you're still looking for CEUs for the IPS one that we did last week, that link is now available, and there are questions in that form is live, so you can get your CEUs from the IPS webinar, and we will post that one later today, probably within the hour, just depending on how fast I get back to my desk and let's get that set up. But thank you all for joining us. We will have another one in September. We will get that out to you. We're looking at some really great presenters we have lined up for the future. And again, as always, let us know your thoughts, feelings, feedback, anywhere in the comments section, to myself at the Division of Drinking Water through email. Thank you all for joining us. And we will see you next month and at Zermatt in Midway, not Switzerland. Don't get confused. Thanks.